are here at the Puma High Point Pop-Up in Boston for Marathon Weekend. We're going to go inside and check out what they have going on. We're here today with Conor Cashin, and he's going to dial us into the new Puma
Fast R Nitro Elite 3.
All right, take it away.
Cool. So Fast R3. This is our third update to our Fast R franchise. So we have two racing franchises at Puma. One is called DV8 Elite, and then we have Fast R Elite. So in the third version here, the main goal was to take the same propulsion package that we had in the two. The two had the extended plate, it had the split midsole like this that you can see here,
right.
But it was a little bit heavy. So we wanted to try to keep the same propulsion, but see if we could make it a lot lighter, and we did that.
Okay, so what does it weigh?
So it weighs 170 grams in a men's sample size, which is US 9, and the previous Fast R weighed around 260 grams.
And talk to me about this upper, because I mean it's basically just like a tissue. The upper is so light.
Yeah, so this is absolutely one of the lightest uppers we've ever had. It's called Ultra Weave.
Okay.
So Ultra Weave actually is a woven material that's really, really strong and really breathable and really light. So the upper itself actually weighs less than 10 grams.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what is this extra thing on the outsole?
Yeah, so this is actually the carbon fiber plate extends beyond the toe.
Okay.
And then the outsole just wraps around it for protection. But that extended carbon plate is what gives you that extra propulsion.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of innovative.
Yeah.
You guys are always so innovative with your design.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the power plate and how it's almost like two separate kind of outsoles on the bottom.
Yeah, for sure. So the power plate is full carbon fiber. We actually kind of call it a snake plate just because of the way that it's shaped. So it's actually engineered to kind of push you toward that big toe, which is why why the plate kind of sticks out right at your big toe, because that's the most powerful and efficient place for you to toe off.
Okay.
So the plate starts in the heel, curves down, and brings you toward that big toe for that push off. And then it has ribs to reinforce the stiffness, and then we were able to, you can see there's a cutout right there, so we were able to remove some weight but also keep it really stiff.
What is the stack of the heel?
The stack of the heel is 40 millimeters,
so
right up
legal.
to the legal limit. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then the stack of this
is 32.
Okay, so 8 millimeter
Yep.
drop. Does
Yep.
it feel like an 8 millimeter drop, or is
I
it?
would actually say it feels a little bit less.
Okay.
Just because the foam actually is pretty soft. But the softer the foam, the more responsive it is. So when you're actually in the shoe, you get that kind of bouncy, kind of cushy feeling.
Yeah.
So it definitely doesn't feel it probably feels closer to a 6 or a 4.
Okay, and then who's running in this weekend?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we have a great stable of female Puma athletes that are towing the lines. We have Dakota Lindworm, Annie Frisbee, Sarah Vaughn, Edna Kiplagat. We have a couple foreign guys on the other side, Pat Tiernan, Rory Linkletter.
Yeah.
They're looking to run really fast. And then we have a whole stable of our Project 3 athletes as well. So a lot of sub-elite athletes that we worked with to really test the shoe and bring the shoe to life through their build up to Boston. So you should see at least 100 pairs of these toward the front of the race.
Awesome. All right, I can't wait to catch up after. Thank you so much, Conor.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome.
Okay. We're here at Puma, and we're going to get into the details about the study and the science behind their new shoe.
My name's Laura Healy, and I work on the sports science team with Puma Innovation.
So tell me about the new shoe that's coming out. What kind of science and data and studies did you do to dial it to the level where people are going to be so much faster if they use it?
Yeah, so this is the Puma Fast R Nitro Elite 3, and it's definitely the most tested and optimized shoe that we've ever done with Puma running. So we've been working the shoe for a very long time. It started in the lab with runners, so we got all sorts of data, pressure map data, biomechanics, forces from a very large set of runners. And then we actually fed that into a computer simulation to optimize the shoe.
Wow.
So we had the shoe, we recreated it in 3D, and then we used real runners' data as the simulation to really understand what was happening on every component of the shoe. So we could understand which parts of the foam were being used, which parts of the plates were being strained, and from there we optimized the plate, the foam, and the whole geometry to really shave as much weight off while keeping it super light and really propulsive
And
as well.
This is the third iteration of the Puma Faster 3.
Yes.
Fast R3.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we started with the Fast R2. We used that as a simulation, and then we kind of shaved off from there.
Awesome. You also did some studies with Mass U on this shoe as well. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, so at the University of Massachusetts, we sent them these shoes, and they chose some other shoes that had some world records in them, and they tested running economy. So what they were measuring was the efficiency in the different shoe models, and they do that by measuring how much oxygen the runner is using, and they found that this shoe was 3.15% more efficient than the previous model, so than the Fast R2. And that's a huge jump. That's really big in these days. I think usually we see around like 1% improvement from model to model. And the other really extraordinary thing was that every single runner was the most efficient in the Fast R3. So we often see some runners responding to maybe one shoe or another, but we had an 100% response rate where every single athlete was the most efficient in our shoe.
Even if they were like a heel striker or a forefoot striker or midfoot, like it doesn't matter. Like this shoe makes you more efficient in your running.
Yes, exactly. And part of that is because during our simulation process, we put in data from all sorts of different runners. So we put in some heel strikers, we put in midfoot strikers and forefoot strikers to make sure that the shoe would work for all types of runners.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. Like even if I look at like the stack and the drop, like it doesn't seem like someone who's a heel striker or a forefoot striker is going to benefit more or less. Like some shoes, there's no heel or all the foam is in the forefoot. So this is really awesome. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. The heel looks like it's very cut away, which it is. But through our simulations, we realized that the foam is exactly where you need it. So the foam back here, nobody's landing that far back.
Yeah.
So even if you are landing on your heel, the foam is still exactly where you need it.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you. Thanks for the insight. I can't wait to run in them.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.